Okay, everybody. Hi, my name is Greg Ryder, and I'm very, very thankful to be the host for today's webinar. I think this is a life-changing webinar to help people that are dealing with, gone through, or been through a divorce or having issues with their relationship. And Vicki is just a very, very special person that I've got to know over the last few months, and helping her with the technology and putting this all together. And it's just fantastic. It's just amazing. And I want to give her the proper introduction because this is a really, really special time for everybody listening. And again, I said it a second ago, please clear your plates, turn off your cell phones, close your doors. Let's get focused, and you can get the most out of this webinar. Pull out that worksheet that was on the thank you page, and we're going to get this thing underway. But Vicki is the proud mother of two amazing children, Kristen and Connor. And I actually met Kristen at one event that we were at, and they were doing a personal development event together. It was awesome. And she's also the mother of two, as she refers to them, incredibly cute but yet completely ill-mannered Dachshunds, Alfalfa and Froggy. And those are some cool names. Gives you an idea of Vicki, right? And she's the founder and president and CEO of a company called Inspiration University. And through Inspiration University, Vicki's helped thousands of women across South Florida grow their businesses, increase their bottom line, their profitability, and her events and what she does inspire, motivate, and inform women entrepreneurs to their best to create the life that they want. But now she's kind of starting to go down a new track, and based upon two very, very painful divorces, her passion has led her to this purpose to her newest venture called the Cafe D. And it's an online respite website for those that find themselves going through the pain of divorce. She wants to help provide you with referrals, resources, emotional support, and obviously what is probably one of the most difficult times, if not the most difficult time of your life. She's also the founder of the National Association of Divorce Professionals, which you would have thought there would have been one out there, but now this is the only one out there. It's the only association put together for divorce professionals, with the idea that she wants to connect you with those that are in business and serve this community and network and help one another get their referral base, and so you can find everything you need through this association that's growing and is expanding, and we want to make that available to you after this call, obviously. And in addition to that, she's got that altruistic part of her too, where she volunteers on several charities, including one called Shoes. I think I pronounced that right. And it's a charity designed to give a simple pair of shoes to needy children around the world. And then she's also involved with Women of Tomorrow. And this is a charity designed to reach and mentor at-risk teen girls, which I just think is amazing because I have teenage girls, and I watch what they went through, and it's like, boy, they really need the help at that time of their lives. And last but not least, she's involved with the Boys and Girls Club, being a committee member on their largest fundraising event of the year. So she's out there, she's always giving back, and this is her time to share with you and give to you. So with that being said, Vicki, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom today. I'm going to pass it over to you, and you can take it from here.
Oh, thanks, Greg. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody that's here today. I promise you that today I'm going to take you down the path that I went through after my painful divorces, and how I got myself out of a very dark, lonely place, and how I came back to living and finding my happiness again. So I hope that everybody is ready. I hope you have the worksheet ready that we worked in, because I really am hoping that you'll not only work on it today, but that you will refer back to that, because this is, we're going to be spending the next 60 to 90 minutes together, but that worksheet is going to last you a lifetime, and that's the goal of that. So my sincere hope for this webinar is that at the end of this, you feel that there was so much information that you're ready to change your life, that you're ready to go down some paths that you haven't thought about before. So that is my goal and my promise to you today. So welcome to Get Your Happy Back, a clear path to a happy and fulfilling life after divorce. This is me. My name is Vicki Townsend, and as Greg said, I own a few companies, and I have two wonderful children. But and they've gone through 2 divorces with me, and I'm not so proud of that. But I am proud of who they are, despite all of the trials and tribulations that they've been through. And I carry some guilt from what's happened for sure, but I'm so lucky to have them in my life, and that they are living and have grown up to be wonderful wonderful adults for our community. So that makes me very proud. The idea behind Cafe D is that I wanted to help others that are going through the divorce or if they've gone through it without the financial and emotional complete and total destruction that I went through. I wanted to make triumph out of my tragedy because I was devastated with what happened with me in my own experience. So I found myself not unlike a mother or father that wants to make sense perhaps out of the death of their child. I wanted to create something that would make it easier for those that are about to go through it or in the middle of it or maybe even long past it like I am. I just wanted mine to mean something. So I created Cafe D after trying to find the answers behind the divorce industry that weren't so fast and forthcoming. So look forward to that. I hope that you guys will use that as a resource as you go through your own journey. And so the biggest reason that I did this was that I made mistakes. I made mistakes that cost me tens of thousands of dollars, all because nobody told me who I should hire first, you know, what I should have done. And one of the things that I could have done could have saved me literally tens of thousands of dollars. And so I wanted to create this place where you'll find webinars and teleseminars just like we're doing today in our membership area on everything from legal matters and interviews with attorneys, money matters with CPAs and financial planners, asset protection, and all of those things that come into play during the divorce process. My goal is to have that for you on the Cafe D. But the most important one that I wanted to start with was the one that we're doing here today. And that is about becoming healthy and happy mentally and emotionally. So again, this is my promise that by the end of this webinar, you will have the tools and techniques that I used during my own journey to live a happy life again. So that you too can find your path back to happiness. And stick around because here at the end, I have a special surprise just for you at the end of this webinar. So please make sure that you're around for that because I want to give you that gift. So welcome to Get Your Happy Back, a clear path to getting your happy back. And I promise that if you will go with me on this, you will find your path to happiness. And I hope that that sounds good. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
So there's my gift to you guys at the end of the webinar. So even with all the personal development courses that I've been to and that I've taught myself, I was numb. And the truth of the matter was that this is the way I felt each and every day that I woke up. I was crying 4, 5, 6 times a day, most of the time, honestly, for no reason. Can anybody relate to that? Does anybody find themselves crying? Or, you know, maybe you didn't cry like I did. Maybe you were just grumpy and grouchy and hard to live with. Maybe, you know, you were just argumentative and maybe like on your last nerve, you were maybe difficult to be around. Maybe you felt like this. And I was tired of carrying that heaviness of the anger and the bitterness and resentment that I had and confusion too. I was really, really confused. And finally I said, enough. You know, I called, after all of my own dealings, I felt kind of like I was the cobbler with no shoes. You know, I had taught all of these courses. I had lived all of these courses. And yet I was so numb. Despite even knowing everything that I knew, I didn't put it into practice for myself. So I knew that I needed to call the coaches and the experts that I knew to help me deal with it. All of those amazing experts that I would have coming at my Inspiration University huge events, I just called them the best I knew to take me on my own journey back to happiness. I had always kind of been a happy person, so that was never like, and I was probably pretty good at faking it. But I was really lost. My journey took me back to happy, and I want to have that for you. So get ready because I'm going to take you on the journey that I went on. It was the 7 steps to finding my happy again. It wasn't something that changed me overnight, but as I studied and I did the work on myself, I slowly saw huge changes. So I welcome you to take notes on your worksheet. And if you didn't get it, there's a download for you in the confirmation email, the thank you email, that you can print out, write down everything that you think that you need so that you can reference it and do the work to get your smile back and find your happiness again. So if you're ready, here we go. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. I wish that I had done this work so many years earlier, because I call them my lost years. And if you go on this journey and do this work, I promise you that you will get back to being a happy person again. And it's, like I say, it's not going to happen overnight, but what you focus on will come into your life. So the 7 steps to a happier, healthier you, to get your happy back, your clear path to a happy and fulfilling life, will include these steps. These are the steps that I did. I learned how to live in the now. I learned about forgiveness, and that was a really, really, really hard one for me. I learned about creating a happiness plan. I learned how to take back my power. I had let it go, so I learned how to get that back. I learned how to bring my sexy back, and it's not what you think. And through it all, I learned to design the life that I wanted and then activate it on my vision. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So why do we want to be happy? You know, defining happiness can seem really as elusive as achieving it. We want to be happy. We want to say, you know, whether we are happy or whether we're not happy. But can it be really defined, studied, or measured? And can you learn to be happier? Well, psychologists say yes, and that there are good reasons for doing so. Positive psychology is the scientific study of the strengths and virtues that enable individuals and communities to thrive. Researchers' work includes studying strengths, positive emotions, resilience, and happiness. Their argument is that we will learn more about happiness and well-being by exploring and examining our strengths and what makes us happy. The hope is that by better understanding human strengths, we can learn ways of becoming happier individuals. So how can you be happy? Martin Seligman, one of the leading researchers in positive psychology and author of The Authentic Happiness, describes happiness as having 3 parts, and this is really important. There's pleasure, engagement, and meaning. So pleasure is that feel-good part of happiness, right? That's kind of easy to describe. But engagement refers to living a good life of work, family, friends, hobbies. Meaning refers to using our strengths to contribute to a larger purpose. So Seligman says that all 3 of these are really important, but that of the 3, engagement and meaning make the most difference to living a happy life. So here we go. Oops, let's see. Pardon my technologically challenged life here. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Living in the now. Uh-oh, I did it. Oh my goodness gracious. Living in the now. When you live in the now and stop letting your past dictate your present, and you stop letting your worries of your future overwhelming your present, you live a more fulfilled and enriching life in the now. This was the first step I took. So get your worksheet ready and get ready to take notes, because this is actually the first step that I did. So the first thing that I did was I did journaling. Journaling all of your past issues that you're incomplete with is just the beginning. It's the start to getting over with it and stopping from it entering your present. So when I talk about your now, I talk about like right now in this moment, we're all looking at a computer screen, right? Right now the word journaling is on it. Right now we're very focused, and this is now. This is this moment. So that's what I mean by this. If, God forbid, you know, your phone rings and you take the phone call while we're doing this webinar, that becomes your now. So this is about your present moment. So what I did was I started journaling, and this is what it did for me and what studies show. If you put all of the things that were in your past and getting past it, that helps you have a clearer, more present moment in the now. So what you do is you put all of the things that enter your present moment, and this is what happened to me. In almost every conversation I had, I really wasn't living in the present moment with my friends, with my family, with my coworkers, and especially with my children. So here's what I did. I got my own journal, and I wrote down everything that I wanted to let go of from the past and the hurt, and I wrote a goodbye letter to it in that very journal. Now, what I did with the journal, you may or may not want to do, but what I did was I took that journal out onto my patio. I ripped out the pages of my past that was so painful, and I actually burned it in a ceremonial type of flame. I put it in a bowl, and I watched it all burn away. And you would be so surprised at how freeing this was in my life. I was able to slowly stop bringing those thoughts of hate and anger and bitterness into my consciousness, into my present moment. So I was more present with the people that mattered to me. I was able to have focused and wonderful conversations that allowed me to experience the happiness that I was really desperate to find. It was more freeing for me than you can really imagine. And I've recently done something similar with that group of young girls that were the at-risk teenagers that I told you about. We actually did it, believe it or not, with an Alka-Seltzer. I had them put in symbols with a magic marker onto an Alka-Seltzer, and they made symbols for their hurt and their pain and their past that they wanted to get past, and they put little symbols on their Alka-Seltzer. And because I couldn't put this is done in the school system, I couldn't put a flame in their classroom, so we did this with a bowl of water and an Alka-Seltzer. Maybe this is something that you can do too. We put the symbol for all of that past hate and anger and bitterness and all of the sadness that we had in our life, and we put that onto an Alka-Seltzer. We threw it into the water, and we watched it disappear. And I will tell you that for the first time, these at-risk teen girls smiled, and they were happy, and they came over and they gave me hugs, and they said this had more meaning for them than anything they had ever done for themselves. So it's something that I would encourage you to do. And so because the benefits of living in the present moment, living in the now, are improved concentration. It also improves your effectiveness at work, and it also gives you increased relaxation and a reconnection with yourself and with your loved ones. They feel like they have a new and improved version of yourself with them every time you're together. So improved concentration because you're not dragging that steamer trunk of baggage with you into your present moment with every conversation you have. You're able to concentrate on your work. You're able to concentrate on the things that you need to get accomplished at home. You're more effective in what you're doing at work because you actually don't have that on your brain like you've been living. So if you can just get rid of all of that, those that we call it monkey mind, where it's all chatter inside your brain of all of the hurt and pain and anger, you'll be able to be more effective with all of the relationships in your work. So that was the first step I did. The second step I did was very difficult, to say the least, for me, and that was forgiveness. I had to learn that forgiveness is not for my ex, it is for me. And I chose this picture because I believe with my whole heart that the cells in your body react to everything that your mind says. Negativity brings down your immune system, and I did not want that for myself. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Holding on to negative emotions doesn't hurt your ex. Believe me, my ex had no idea what I was saying or doing and all of the barbs that I sent. It only hurt me. It hurt my kids, and it will hurt your kids, your work, and your job. So what is forgiveness, and why do you forgive? And again, I want you to know that this was a very difficult and challenging part for me of everything that I did. For me, this was the most difficult. So generally, forgiveness is a decision to let go of all resentment and thoughts of revenge. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you deny the other person's responsibility for hurting you, and it doesn't minimize or justify the wrong. You can forgive the person without excusing the act. Forgiveness brings a kind of peace that helps you go on with life. So the benefits of forgiveness are happier and healthier relationships with yourself, with your children, with your coworkers, greater spiritual and psychological well-being, less anxiety, stress, and hostility. It actually, studies show that it lowers your blood pressure. You have fewer symptoms of depression, a stronger immune system, improved heart health, and higher self-esteem. So that's why this is so important, because when you're healthier mentally and emotionally, it's a lot easier to be a healthy partner in any relationship. So forgiveness is a commitment to a process of change. To begin with, you might consider the value of forgiveness to you and its importance in your life at any given time. You might want to reflect on the facts of the situation, how you've reacted, and how this combination has affected your life, your health, and your well-being. And you might actively choose to forgive the person who's offended you, and I've done this in big, bold, ugly letters, when you're ready. Another thing that you'll probably need to do is to move away from your role as a victim and release the control and the power the offending person and the situation have had in your life. Boy, oh boy, did that have meaning for me, because I needed to release all of the power that all of those negative stories that I had and that I was bringing into my present. I had to just release it and let that power go, because I didn't want them to have that power over my life and over my happiness anymore. So there are two types of forgiveness. There is decisional forgiveness. Decisional forgiveness is the decision that you make to forgive, but it's what we have to do next that you need to do to really, truly live a fulfilled life. So decisional forgiveness is what we just kind of talked about, when you decide that you're going to make those moves. But the next one is the most important, and that's emotional forgiveness. First, you recall the hurt objectively without blame or self-victimization. Then you empathize by trying to imagine the viewpoint of the other person that wronged you. You know, there's an altruistic part that involves getting people to think about a time when you were forgiven and how that felt. When it's time to commit to forgiveness, when you really want to do that, and you know, you may say not yet, but when you really finally arrive at that position where you want to forgive, you must hold on to that forgiveness and hold on tight. So I have a forgiveness exercise that I'd like us to go through, and that would involve, I want you to sit back and wherever you are and close your eyes. And this might be very difficult, but it will be freeing, I promise. So I want you to close your eyes, visualize the person you need to forgive. Now cup your hands and put in your hands all the pain that you feel, the anger, the hate, everything that you experience every day. Put that into your hands. Focus that pain in the palm of your hands. Now, stretch your hand out and imagine the viewpoint of the person who wronged you. And imagine a time that you were forgiven. And maybe don't feel like it's something that you should have been forgiven for. Has that ever happened to you? No matter. Take your hands and then give that pain to your God, your higher power, the universe, whatever it is that whatever you call upon when you are in anger and you are in pain. Give that pain that you just put into your hands up to your higher power, and then take some time right now and feel how that made you feel. And if you put that in the chat box, that would be great, so that we can get a feeling for if that exercise had some impact on your life. Let us know what just doing that simple exercise did for you. It might be something, this is an exercise that we've just done in the last couple of minutes, and I will be honest with you, exercises like these on the topic of forgiveness, for me, I had to do regularly. Nothing that I did happened in the immediacy for me. It was a work in progress and something that I had to continue and continue and continue to do. So if that had some impact on you, let us know. And if that's something that you can do every day, that would be just phenomenal.
Excuse me, Vicki.
Yeah.
I was going to say that people are giving comments. I feel lighter. I feel relief. I feel the release. I felt the weight lift off my shoulders. That was a great exercise. oh, that really made me feel good. And I wanted to let you know, as Vicki asked things, we talked about it privately before, that we want to keep you guys at, I don't know if you want to address the whole anonymity or anonymous. Like, we're not going to say your names. We want you to give us your feedback, but we're not going to share that with anybody else, who you are.
Yes, that is absolutely of utmost importance to us for sure. So good. I'm glad that there's been some people feeling some release, and we've got lots of things like that planned for you for the rest of the webinar. So I'm glad you're here. So the next thing that you might want to do to help you move into happiness is to focus on gratitude. Take one thing in your life that you can be grateful for and focus on it for just a minute. What right now, I want you to think about something that you're grateful for. For me, I'm grateful for my children and that they have wonderful health. And if I can just focus on that, that makes me grateful. Living in gratitude helps you come back to happiness. The next one is called cognitive reframing. Reframing is a way of viewing, and experiencing all of the events, all of your emotions, all of the things that you've been through, and to find a more positive alternative. And we talked about looking at things from somebody else's eyes. Maybe that's cognitive reframing. Maybe talking about how you've been forgiven during a time in your life that you felt like maybe you didn't deserve to be forgiven. And then the last thing that you need to do is to change your story. Your story of being a victim can absolutely change. And so think of the story that you've been telling yourself for years, just like the story I told about to myself. But just change it by 2 to 3 lines. See how you can change it so that you are the heroine or hero of your story and not the victim. And write down those 2 or 3 lines. Right now on your worksheet, just write down 2 or 3 lines that you can say to yourself to change your story from being that victim to being the victor, from being the loser in your story to being the winner. What can you say in your story to change your story? The next step that I took was I chose to create a happiness plan. There we go. So if hopefully everybody on this webinar is old enough to remember a wonderful comedian named Phyllis Diller. And she said, a smile is a curve that sets everything straight. And the smile can help you to stand out, improve your people's perception of your attractiveness, and relieve any stress that you might be experiencing. And if you're still not convinced, there is evidence that those who smile often live an average of 7 years longer than those who rarely conjure up a regular smile. So, whoops, not all smiles are equal. So if you're looking at the screen, on the left side of the screen is just your standard smile, just kind of a boring smile. And on the right is a Duchenne smile. And there's a big difference on these two smiles because according to Mark Stivich, he's a consultant at Columbia University and he's a contributor to the Guide to Longevity. His research shows that smiling makes us attractive to others. So there's an automatic attraction that people, to people who smile, right? We like to be with them. It changes your mood. Even when it's difficult to smile, when you're not feeling good, there is a chance it might improve your affect and change the way you're feeling. So what I want to do is I want to practice what a Duchenne smile is. A Duchenne smile it uses not just the corners of your mouth. It involves your cheeks and it involves your eyes. So right now, I want you to close your eyes, look, or actually, let's keep them open. Look up at the ceiling so that you're not looking at anything, and do a big Duchenne smile using your entire mouth, your cheeks, and your eyes just for a minute, just to see how that feels, because it can change your physiology in the moment. So when you're doing that, there's actual physical changes that's going on in your body right now as you do it. And hopefully you can feel that made you feel better. And if it did, let us know. Put it in the chat box. Let us know how you're feeling about that, your Duchenne smile. So other research shows that it's contagious. Others will want to be with you, and you'll be helping others feel good. It relieves stress. Stress doesn't, it does express itself right in our faces. So when we smile, It helps us look better. We look less tired. We look less worn down, and I think we all need that at some time in our lives, right? It boosts your immune system. It actually can stimulate your immune response by helping you relax. And it's another thing that lowers your blood pressure. When you smile, there's evidence that your blood pressure can decrease. So it's got so many wonderful things that, that can help you just change your own mood. Just doing it changes your own mood, whether you feel like it or not. So this is one of the things that, this is a quote that I really like. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. And the reason that I like this is because I really, really believe with my whole heart that what you focus on grows in your life. And that goes back to the same way that it goes with happiness. It also goes back to the hate, the anger, the bitterness. And that's why the name of this webinar is, get your happy back, a clear path to a happy and fulfilling life, because we want to concentrate on the positive sides of this conversation, not on the negative. So the more you praise and celebrate the little things in your life, even if it's just that you got out of bed this morning, celebrate it and be happy in that moment, and I promise you that more of that will come. So in choosing a happiness plan, one of the things that I did was I chose to drive from a happy place. So driving in from that happiness place is a real decision, right? This is where you have to look inside and answer the tough questions like, what do you like to do? What makes you happy? What do you want more of? It's easy to keep doing the things that we think others expect from us or want from us. Instead, what we want you to do is to look inside and find the things that really do make you happy and do more of that. So what I'd like you to do on your worksheet is just to list 3 things that make you happy. And Greg, while they're doing that, you have a great story of your own, of your own happiness story with some sticky notes. Can you tell everybody that?
Yeah, no, I love that. And again, the whole smile exercise is awesome, because it's like it's making more happy and smiley face and more sincere. And then Willie said it made her cry because it feels fake. So I said we'll address that towards the end. But it's funny how it affects different people. But for me, I had gone through a time in my life that had nothing to do with divorce, but it had to do with my business. And bottom line is we lost $2.8 million overnight when the banking collapsed, and it's depression, and it was a tough time in my life. I ended up hiring a coach, and the coach really was like, your issue is happiness. It's like you can't function when you're not happy. And it affected my job, my kids, my life, everything, right? Which I know that some of the people maybe listening are experiencing that. So she had me write the word happy on little sticky notes, and I put little sticky notes literally on my phone, stuck on my computer, stuck on pictures on my wall. And I also remember this morning, Vicki, that my wife had these crayons that you could write on glass, and then you could erase them. They're for little kids, and we wrote on pictures, and we wrote on windows, and we wrote on the mirror in the bathroom. So I had sticky notes and this crayon writing the word happy, and we had little sticky notes and bigger sticky notes, and they were everywhere. So during my day, from getting up, going into the bathroom and brushing my teeth and all that kind of stuff, to going to the office, I was saying happy 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day, because everywhere I went I had happy notes, and it helped. It was amazing. And we've even heard other people give testimonies after I've told this story, how they loved it and they've done it and it's helped them. So it was just an amazing thing, because what you said earlier is so important. It's like what you focus on grows, right? So if I see that word happy and I start to say something gratitude, and I use that as a trigger point to focus on it, it helps a lot.
Yeah, and it's so true. You were focusing on happy. You weren't focusing on the depression, all of those things. When you have that word in front of you, first of all, happy does everybody love that word? I love that word. Happy is it's a happy word. It has a great energy for me. And so I just really love that. And so, yes, as your thoughts go, your life goes. And so that's why this is all a really big shift in how we've been talking to ourselves, how we see the world, and how the world sees us. So thank you for that. That's awesome. So I would suggest if anybody out there likes that, I actually am doing that for somebody as they move into a brand new home. Greg, you've inspired me to write and bring joy and happiness to their new home as they walk into that. Everywhere they go, they're going to see joy and happiness. And so it will bring that energy into their brand new home from day one, from the moment they step in. So they've already agreed that I can go into their house before they do. So I'm very excited about that. So thank you for that inspiration.
Nice. I love it.
Isn't that cool? So the next thing that I did was I became the director of my own life. I pointed my camera on purpose. So you're the director of your life. And point your camera at the things that you want more of. You get what you focus on, right? The things that you focus on grow in your life. You can point your camera and your life at more pain or more pleasure. And that's a very powerful choice, but it's also a great metaphor. It's easy to test. Simply start pointing your camera at better scenes each and every day and watch what unfolds in yourself and in the world around you. So the question I have for you is, what do you want to point your camera at? The next step that I did was I took my power back. And I love this from Glinda, the Good Witch, when she said, "You've had the power all along." And you know what, Greg, I forgot that. I forgot that I was in charge of my own power. I had let it go and given it away. And I felt like I was a walking doormat. And so often we forget that we are responsible for whether we hold on to our power or we let it go. And you do have the power. You have had the power all along, and it's just time to bring it out. So I love this quote: "Above all, be the heroine of your life and not the victim." That was from Nora Ephron, who I'm crazy about. So now it's time to be your own hero or your own heroine. So let's go. So the first step to getting what you want is having the courage to get rid of what you don't. So what is it that you don't want anymore? Is that your ex? Is that the arguments? Is that the pain? Is that the sadness? Is it the hate? Is it the anger? What are you going to get rid of? So no more excuses. Write down 3 things right now that you're going to get rid of. And I will wait, because that's a really important thing. Because this is along that same journaling idea of getting rid of the past. Get rid of it. Right now, today, we are getting rid of it, and we're going to be focusing on happiness. So when we continue to make excuses and blame others, we are actually giving our power away. Excuses hold us back from being the best we can be, from being honest with ourselves, and living authentic lives. If you let your life fall apart because of something someone else did, you are choosing to let it fall apart. So I don't know if any of you guys remember Anne Hathaway's character in The Devil Wears Prada. Her character was walked all over by Meryl Streep's character. And finally, at the end of the movie, Anne's character got her power back, and she designed the life that she wanted with no regrets. And this is fiction, I get that, but the situation is really universal. You become the Anne Hathaway. You stand up and speak your mind and design the life that you want. I know that some of you are probably thinking this is really difficult to do on your own, but here at the Cafe D, we're here to support you on your journey. There's going to be a community here of not only people that are going through your similar situation, or someone like me that's been there, done that, but we're also going to have some experts from the community that will come in and talk to you from time to time and help you out. So we're here to help you. So we'll be taking a deep dive into each of these steps in a course that we're creating that starts on Wednesday, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But, Anne left the job with quote-unquote power, but she got back her power when she started to live the life that she wanted on her terms. So the next step that I took, step 5, was getting my sexy back. And, being sexy has different meanings for different people. So I found some words that I thought, you know, many people would find sexy. So being positive and fun and friendly and generous and understanding and caring and patient and bubbly, all of those words, maybe other people think are sexy, and maybe you do too. But there are wonderful characteristics that some people find sexy that, that you may not. So what is sexy is what you think it is. So how do you start to get your sexy back? The first step is to separate pride from the process. Your ego has to go away. This isn't about hurt feelings. It's about getting you back to a mental space where you can feel sexy again, whatever sexy means to you. This is your definition of sexy. Mine may be completely and totally different than yours. So I want you to get your pen and paper and your notebook out, or your notes out, and answer these 3 questions, because the answers of these questions will help you get on your path to finding your sexy again. So how are these negative states in your brain, all of this negativeness and your behavior, your negative behavior, affecting your family, your friends, and your work? So we want to talk about, you know, what's happening to those around you by staying in the negative space where you are, with your negative behaviors, the negative attitudes, and the things that happen to you because you're in that negative space. So write that down. The next question is, how would my family, my friends, or my work benefit from me being happy, motivated, confident, secure, and at peace? So think about all of those important people in your lives, and how would they benefit? How would your workplace be a better place to be if you were happy and motivated and confident? How would your children be if you were happy, motivated, confident, and at peace? The next one is, and last one is, what is the first step to putting aside my pride regarding the divorce and moving forward to creating a pleasant environment both at home and at work? So what do you need to do to let your ego go, to move towards a place of peace and love and happiness? What do you need to do to get your ego out of the way, put the hurt aside, and move towards happiness? And then reread those answers, and do it on a daily basis until you can feel the negative state of your mind leaving you, so that you can replace them with positive feelings that make you feel confident and sexy. So that's what I did. The 6th step that I did was to design the life that I wanted. And so I want to ask you know, this question is, what do you want? Because what you focus on becomes larger in your life. If you focus on the hate and anger, it only grows, and it makes you age through stress on your body. You know, so God knows we don't want that. That's why, again, this webinar, we chose Get Your Happy Back. It was the clear path to a happy and fulfilling life. We're not going to focus on the negative stuff. We are, as of this moment, focusing only on the good, only on the positive, and only what we want. So there are areas in your life, if you have your notes out, there's some those categories that are on your worksheet. You can take a look at those areas of your life. And I want you to just pick out one, and we're going to go through them right now. And we'll do one exercise for this webinar. Then afterwards, I want you to go through it on your own and find those, find the things in your life that you think that you can work on and bring positive thoughts and energy to. So your family and your friends, your personal development, your health and wellness, your career, fun and recreation, romance, finances, and lastly, your environment. And your environment can be your home, your workspace, maybe a garden outside. So what I want you to do is to focus on one And then I'm going to tell you why I believe so strongly in it, and decide what it is that you want that portion of your life to look like a year from now. If it's your career, what is the career of your dreams? What is it that you want to do to get to? What steps do you want to take to make your career better? And what are you willing to do? And what is the vision that you have for yourself? Because I'm going to tell you so strongly that I believe the reason that it works, the reason that it works is because this was me on stage with Oprah Winfrey in October 2014, and I got to be interviewed by her on her stage. And ironically enough, it was called The Life That You Want. And the reason that I want to show you this picture was because I created that myself many years ago when I set the intention that I wanted to have lunch with Oprah Winfrey. And I actually have that, and there was a couple of newspaper and magazine articles that was actually done on that very interview. And if you'd like to know how that worked, I won't share it with you here because it's actually quite a timely story. Maybe I'll do a webinar on that itself. But I actually designed it by setting that intention early on and then working towards that intention that got me on stage, and actually ended up being a life-changing moment that made me see that if I could create that in my life, I could create change for other people with the Cafe D and the National Association of Divorce Professionals. So it was a huge life-changing event for me. The one thing that I want you to know is that you can own your own tomorrow. You can design your life, but you have to be committed to looking at it and believing in it. So in 12 months from today, what do you want to see in each of those areas that's on your worksheet? What does your life look like this time next year if you could design the life you want and start living it today? Now that you know what you want for your life in the next 12 months in that one area, and you have some clarity, what is it costing you not to have those things in your life? What is it worth to have your health and your wellness? What is it worth to have your children happy? What is it worth to have your home or the career that you've always wanted? You can own your tomorrow. You can design your life, but you have to be committing and believing in it each and every day because, as I said earlier, as your thoughts go, so your life goes. The next thing that I did after I designed the life that I wanted in all of those areas. So I know that this isn't something that we're going to be able to do in this just one webinar. So you're going to either have to do this offline or maybe you'll join us at another time. But that was to create your vision and to activate on the life you want. So we've gone through the 6 areas of your life, of the journey. So how to get past your past so you could live in the now. How to forgive so that you could live a life of peace and harmony, how you can take back your power, how you can get your sexy back, and you can design the life that you want in those areas. It's time to put it all into action. It's time to design your vision board or your life board or your vision book or journal, whatever it is that you want, however you want to keep it. It's time to commit it visually to something that you can look at each and every day. So here's what you'll need. You'll need a poster board or a notebook or maybe even your journal. You'll need lots and lots of your favorite magazines, maybe Oprah, Entrepreneur, Forbes, Travel, Home and Garden, whatever it is that you like, however you want to design your life, and get glue, stickers, markers, scissors, and design your vision board. So to do that, you need to be clear about what you want and keep it visible. You need to make one vision board around one area of your life that you want to create. So if you just chose career just now, an exercise bath, make a vision board about your career and what you think that you want that to look like 12 months from now. And then take action on it. Move towards your dreams. But most of all, believe, and this is the biggest part, believe that you deserve your happy and fulfilled life. And that's what's going to make change for you. So the idea behind it is that when you surround yourself with images of who you want to become or what you want to have or where you want to live, where you want a vacation, your life changes, you need to match those images and those desires to something that you can visually see. So when you're ready to activate your life and desires, you become very clear about your desires. You want to change your environment or surroundings, be very specific that you want to, with what you want to manifest into your life, whether that's a new home, maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's a new romance. That's not out of the question for you either. So consider creating a board about being open to new ideas and new opportunities, even that, if it's a real stretch for your imagination. You are not, you don't have to be exactly sure about what you want, but you can get close to it. So if you've been in a period of depression or grief, you can have a vision of what you want in some way, and you can just put it up in front of you. And as you look at it every day, remember, as your thoughts go, your life goes. So you want to have your vision board visible to you, but not to too many more people, because they end up kind of somehow getting into your business, and many times they can squash your dreams, right? Like, you can't have that house, or you don't deserve that career. So don't let somebody else squash your vision and your dreams. So let your vision board empower you. Use it as a tool to move you closer to your goals and to live the life of happy that you deserve. So vision boards are a brilliant way to keep your goals in front of you each and every day. Each day you can look at it and see what it is that you're striving for. And it just may be peace or love and a happy life. Let your vision board tell you, tell you what you want, and keep that vision in front of your face, whether it's in your closet, whether it's in your kitchen, on your refrigerator. A lot of my friends have theirs on their refrigerator. For me, that was a little bit too personal, so I kept mine and still keep mine hidden in my closet, where it's back behind where I hang my jewelry. So it's like back behind there, so I see it every day. So these were the 7 steps that I took, and I'm hoping that maybe this content was very helpful for you. And I want to know if you would like to see more content on something similar to this, because remember the experts that I told you about earlier. In putting this webinar together, I realized that I needed to bring different experts directly to you. I can tell you my story, and I can teach you the path that I went down, and I can tell you everything that I did and what worked for me and what didn't. But what's really important is that there are experts that I know that that I needed to bring directly to you instead of hearing it from me. So I'm excited to announce that I've put together something very special that I don't think has ever been done for people who are going through divorce. I've lined up 7 amazing world-class experts for a 7-week live Get Your Happy Back training course, because obviously I just couldn't give you all the information in this short time that we've had here together. But in the 7-week live training, we're going to make sure you get your happy back. You're going to be able to take a deep dive into each of these areas that I spoke about. These hand-selected experts are going to take you on your 7-week journey to a happier life, and it starts here. So it's 7 weeks of hand-selected experts that will guide you through the darkness of hate and anger and into the light of self-love and self-compassion and a life filled with happiness. So in 7 short weeks, you'll find your smile again. Isn't that just the cutest? So this will be 7 weeks of life-changing events. These are the weeks these are the events that I went through to get my smile back. So 7 weeks for you to work on areas of your life so that you can have some clarity. Clarity was everything, and you can experience release from the anger, hate, and resentment. 7 weeks of skilled experts bringing you their absolute best information, their tips and techniques on how you can find happiness. They're here to answer your questions, support you through your growth, and empower you to move to your happiness. These people will be here with live Q&A, and you will like each and every one of them. Every one of them is going to bring a different perspective and a different topic. So week 1 is with Roy Assad. Roy is an amazing professional. He's an advisor. This man has owned more businesses. He owns magazines. He owns insurance companies. And he trains people on how to get out of their own head and into being happier, more fulfilled business owners and having a work-life balance where they live in the now. He's the one that taught me about living in the now and why bringing that steamer trunk, and I had a matching set of steamer trunks, into my current now was really keeping me from having a happy life. So Roy coaches executives and teams, and he uncovers key problems, and he identifies trigger points, and he actually helps eliminate roadblocks, and that's what he will do for you. So in the Now Project, you'll find greater peace, you'll learn how to have a bigger future, and you will live with less guilt. The next one is Felicia Scott. Felicia is an amazing coach. She's been tapped as one of eWomen Network's first North America's next greatest speakers. She won that. She's been touted as today's leading motivational speaker. She's a certified empowerment coach. She wrote a best-selling book called Thrive. She works on the emotional intelligence-based coaching and training, and her programs are amazing. She's been in the business for 10-plus years. She's worked with Fortune 500 companies. She's worked with executives and business leaders, and she's helped thousands live fearlessly, and that's what I want for you. And so I'm bringing Felicia to talk about this very important topic of forgiveness. Remember, forgiveness isn't for you. Isn't for your ex. It's for you. So you'll get the tools and mindset you need to experience freedom, to get over your past, to be yourself, and to live the life that you want to live. Remember, freedom isn't for your ex. It's for you. The next thing that I did was the happiness plan with Ruth Swizza. I found Ruth because Ruth is a professor at a college here in South Florida. She's a psychological specialist. She got all of her training in the UK. She speaks everywhere. She's currently a professor at teaching on psychology, and she's won all sorts of amazing awards, and she's helped thousands. She, too, speaks at different universities and colleges and corporate executive organizations, and she's just really an amazing woman, and she's designing the first Florida-based divorce consulting program for professionals. And with the happiness plan, you will learn what you need to focus on to experience happiness, where to spend more time to experience happiness, how to set your happiness level to experience real happiness, the traps to avoid to experience happiness, and how to raise your frustration tolerance level to experience happiness. The next one is my dear friend Lorena Anderson. She's an energy coach. She has worked with women. She's got her master's in social work. She's really an expert in the field of mental health and chemical dependency for the last 15 years. And over the course of time, her client base of women, she continues to help them grow through her interactions with them. And she just wanted to bring her ability to help people shift their energies and shift their thought patterns to helping them find their own power. So Lorena's going to be there. She's worked with thousands of women here in the South Florida community, and she's very high energy. And her goal is to bring happiness and a personal sense of accomplishment to everyone that she touches. So in Step, Own, and Be Your Own Power, you will learn courage and confidence, loving and appreciating yourself, attracting friends and a great social life. You'll have vibrant health, inner peace, and lastly, but certainly not least, wealth abundance. And she's just amazing at shifting your mind around all of those topics. Bringing Your Sexy Back with my friend Liz Becker. She is an amazing certified social and emotional intelligence coach. She's a mindset strategist. She specializes in transitions and communications. So she's also a licensed neuro-linguistic programming master and practitioner and trainer. She equips her clients with unique tools and techniques to achieve positive change and balance in their lives. So Liz will be teaching you and bringing your sexy back how to communicate with yourself, how to gain more balance in all areas of your life, how to add more pleasure to the things in your life that you hate to do, how to gain more control of your emotional states, how to gain control of the choices you make and the path that you're on. And then there's me. You all know about me, but I want to teach you guys how, first of all, I want you to understand the law of attraction and how you can create your own future. I want to help you set the intentions for your entire life wheel that you have there on your worksheet for the next 12 months. We're going to get rid of your list of hurts from your divorce so that you can move into a life of happiness. And then we're going to write a very special letter to yourself that will change your life. And then lastly, we'll be activating your happiness. We're going to help you to design your best life with my friend Lucinda Cross. She has the most amazing story. She's a best-selling author. She's internationally known speaker and spokesperson. She has had a life that will absolutely inspire you. She's been a best-selling author. She has an amazing following. And she wrote a self-help and empowerment best-selling book called The Road to Redemption, and I encourage you to look that up because it's an amazing, amazing story. She is a contributing writer to 4 other best-selling books, life success strategies and empowerment topics and leadership as well. She was recently featured in Essence Magazine and has appeared on The Today Show on NBC, teaching everyone how to activate their dreams through vision boards and vision books. So on that webinar, we're going to be setting your intentions for your life. We're going to help you visualize your future and have that come to life for you so that you can set your dreams into motion and design your life on your terms. So imagine waking up, finding your smile again. Imagine life with joy again. Imagine being able to fall in love again. And imagine being you again. So how do you get access to all of this? I've put together in a group setting so that we can save us all a great deal of money and time. And you can take these workshops in the comfort of your home or your office, even from the comfort of your local coffee shop if that's what you'd like. These trainers get about, the average was about $300 per hour, and I'm bringing them together so that we can get it all in this information, and you'll be able to ask them any of your pressing questions that you have on how to create your own happy-filled life. So you will have absolute access to them in a Q&A, kind of like we're doing here with Greg today, so that you can actually ask your questions and get your problem solved on how to live a happy-filled life. So what is it worth for you to love yourself again? So these are our experts from Roy all the way to Lucinda. It's a $2,100 plus value. And the question is, what is it costing you to live in your misery? What's it costing your career, your health, and your children? So again, we're going to be teaching you about living in the now. Forgiveness is for you. Creating a happiness plan. Own your power. Bring your sexy back. Design the life you want and activate your vision, which is a $2,100 plus value. And we're not going to be asking $1,900 or $1,400, not even $900. And we've got a special bonus for you. We're adding a gold membership into the Cafe D exclusive membership area just for you. This will give you access to this webinar and every other webinar that we create for now and for the next 12 months. So we promise to bring you topics from legal to child support to therapy to wealth management, insurance, selling your real estate, hiring a private investigator, and a lot on finding your happy back, because I know that that's where most of us struggle. So you'll have access to that area for the next 12 months, and that's a $564 value. So you get 7 weeks of live training with the Q&A and a 1-year gold membership into the CafeD.com. It's a $2,664 value. Oh, and I'm giving you my risk-free triple guarantee where if you don't like any of it, if you don't like the content, if you don't like the speakers, if you don't like my nail polish, you can absolutely get your money back. So all of that with the year-long membership into the Cafe D with a gold membership is just $297 or 3 payments of $119. And this is where you would register to get that. And we are starting this webinar in just a few days. So please, if this is something that you think will make a difference in your life, or we take a deep dive on all of these topics, I hope you will join us. So Greg, can you put that into the chat box area so that people can actually click into it? Is that how this works? Greg, are you there? Uh-oh.
I had muted
Greg?
myself. Sorry about that.
Hello. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
That's okay. Hi.
I had muted myself. So,
yes, I can. Oh, that's okay. Can you put that link into the chat area?
Yes, I will. I'll put it
chat?
in there for everybody. And I'm excited about this. It's very, very cool. I love the stuff we're talking about. The comments I've been getting are fantastic. We're going to open up the question and answers here in a few minutes. We're going to address a lot of stuff. And somebody was asking, is the live events going to be recorded? And it's like, yes, every single live event with all the 7 speakers will be recorded, and then we will put those into the members area. For some reason you can't make it live, you can always watch the recording, and plus you're going to get involved in a private Facebook group as part of the membership site, so you can have other people that you can chat with and communicate with. And the idea is we help support one another, we help communicate with one another, and we just add that value to continue to give you hope, to continue to strengthen you, and to continue everything that you're doing to get happy.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, that's just what we want to do. We want to find ourselves again. We want to be able to smile again. We want to be able to find that happiness space of just enjoying the moment, right? Enjoying your now. Because when you, like I say, I was bringing around a steamer trunk and I didn't even realize it. You know, that's the thing about this. I feel like when I say I was the cobbler with no shoes, you know, I was the person that put on all these inspiration and motivation events, and I wasn't experiencing it myself because why? I hadn't done the work. If you don't go through this journey, it's a very difficult way to try and get back to that, because you really do, if you can just do the work, you'll get there. And the one thing that I regret of anything was that I waited so long to do it, because I really, truly call those my lost years. And it was several years, and that's, you know, that's the saddest part about it, is that it was several years. And I don't want anybody else to do that. I don't want anybody else to go through that. I found a path, and even if it's not your exact path, it will get you very, very close to finding you're happy again. I promise you that. So that is my promise to everyone, is that we are going to get you on that path back to happiness. So,
Very cool.
do you have some questions on there or some comments that?
Yeah, no, I do. I want to kind of bring up some stuff that was brought up throughout this. So if you have any questions, go ahead, type them in the question box now. We're going to open it up. And here's something I want you to address. So I'm assuming there's more people that feel this exact same way, but he says, I feel like I've already done the forgiveness thing, but I feel my spouse is the one still holding the grudge while the divorce is still going on. And I think that's something you got to try to address that. I'm not sure what you say about that.
Yeah, I can understand that. One of the things that I might probably do is have your spouse go through this program. Maybe it's a gift to make it so that the communication between you two is better, you know, and is, listen, a lot of things in my life particularly, and they're gone, and not to get them back again, but I can actually, I fall asleep not holding on to the resentment. I fall asleep not being angry. I deal with, you know, we have this is not the father of my children, so I don't have a lot of interaction. But from time to time, there's an email that comes up. And when I used to have an email from him, just seeing his name absolutely sent me into, you know, just a very dark place. It doesn't do that anymore. I don't have that anymore because I don't want him to have that power over me. That's what I was talking about with the Anne Hathaway thing. I design my life now. I design who controls my emotions and who controls my, you know, my mental space. So by letting that go, gosh, it was so freeing. It was so freeing. It was hard to do, but it was so freeing.
No, that is, and again, that kind of goes back to this is a kind of like that analogy that this isn't a race where you start and you're in. It's a lifestyle, it's a change, it's something you work on, and you have to surround yourself by people that are helping you and supporting you, right?
Right.
And I know a lot of people don't have that support structure where they live, where they're at, with what they're doing, which is what you're all about. And that's what the Cafe D is all about. That's what this 7-week live series is all about. That's what the community you're building is all about, so they can get the support. So like the one lady, coming back to when you did the smile exercise, she said she tried to do it, but it made her cry because it felt fake.
Oh.
And she wants it to be real, right? She said, I want
Right.
this to be real. So
Yes.
what would you say to that?
Well, I'll tell you that practice makes not necessarily perfect, but practice makes change. And there are physical changes that actually happen in your body when you smile. Using that Duchenne, don't do the fake smile because that one doesn't have the effect. When you engage all of the muscles around your eyes, around your cheeks, and around your mouth, just do it. Keep doing it. And eventually, I promise you, it will make the changes in your body that it can actually really, you will feel good. We did it once. That's why I'm telling you this this is a 7-week commitment to a process. When you go through this course with us, we'll be having some homework exercises for you to do. So because this isn't going to, this doesn't fix itself in an instant. This is a journey. That's why I tell you that this was my 7-week journey. This is a path. It's not an instant fix. It's because it didn't take, it didn't come about in an instant. But I promise you, if you do the work and you do some self-evaluation and you learn how to love yourself and you learn how to respect yourself again and you learn how to take back your power, you will learn how to, the importance of letting go. And that's the important part here, is letting go of the power that your past and all of that hurt actually has over you. When you realize that you have the power to let that go, and it may sound like I'm speaking a foreign language to you, but after you work through that process and you kind of get it, you start to understand what that means, you go, okay, I get it. And as soon as you understand and come to the space in your life where I don't want to live like this anymore. I didn't want to live like this anymore. I simply wanted it to go away. I just wanted the dark. For me, it was like a dark, heavy blanket, almost like a wet blanket. And when I was able to take it, I didn't even realize that I was carrying that dark blanket around with me. It had become such a part of who I had become that I didn't even feel it anymore. And I used the analogy of when I was a little girl and in the 8th grade, I started to have some vision problems. And my mother took me to the eye doctor, and he said, oh, you need glasses. And you probably won't need them for everything, but we're going to get you some glasses. Well, I put those glasses on, and the first words out of my mouth were, I had no idea that people could see the individual leaves on a tree. I had no clue. I had no idea that that was the way everybody else saw until they put those special glasses in front of my eyes that allowed me to see what I wasn't seeing the way I had been doing before. And that's the way this kind of is. When you learn, at least for me, I was carrying those steamer trunks, and I was strong enough to be able to lift them, but everybody else felt those steamer trunks in the room with us. Everybody could see it there. Everybody could see it in my face, in my body language. They could feel it in the voice and the anger that I used when I was speaking about, my divorce. That became a part of my everyday conversation. And I just realized that, why am I living like this? Why do I want that? And I took off the wet blanket and I put the glasses on in front of my eyes, and I saw that I don't want to live with that heavy blanket on me anymore. I don't want it. I don't need it. And it is not only not empowering me, it's killing me. It actually is causing heart problems and increased blood pressure and all of those other things, increased stress in my life and inflammation. I didn't want it anymore, and I was committed to getting past it. And that's what my journey was, and that's what this path did for me. It helped me it put the glasses on front of my eyes. and gave me the vision to see that I don't want to be seeing the way I used to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense to me, and I'm listening to you, and you start to think about the cost associated with the divorce and the health, the
Oh,
happiness, the family, the job. It just
yeah.
really is priceless to get this kind of help. And I was listening to you when you were talking about the 7 speakers, and it's like, and for me, I love personal development, and I've been a personal development junkie my whole life, and I really believe in this thing I call the law of exposure. It's like when you don't know what you don't know, so you got to put yourself in a position to where you're exposed to it. And you've assembled these 7 different people, and I just know, sure as I'm sitting here, that each one is going to deliver some information, some exercises, some homework, some strategies, some tactics, some philosophies, some thought processes that can help you get your health back on track, get your mindset health back on track, get your happiness back. And it's like, it's kind of priceless, right? And so it's one of those things that if you're feeling inside that you need this, you need to go to the web, the cafed.com/happyback and sign up right now. And your triple guarantee is like, and just so everyone's clear, we talked about this with Vicki and I, that you can go through the whole entire course, like the whole 7-week course. And at the end of the course, if you don't feel it was worth your investment, just tell Vicki, she'll give you your money back. She'll refund your money. But there's costs associated with the technology, setting it up, the webinar, the membership platform. We want everybody to have that. So I'm
And
hoping that everybody joins and signs up and goes for that.
I do too. And I will tell you that, when you realize, and sometimes, we live inside a jar, right? And it's hard to read the label on your own jar, right? And so, but other people can read the label for us. And so we live inside this jar, and we're not necessarily seeing what other people see. So when we bring this negative energy, remember the Debbie Downer on SNL, and there's some other people that are just always negative, and you see those people and you feel them as they come into the room because their energy is so negative. While I wasn't a Debbie Downer, because I actually, was able to put on a pretty good fake front, I think, but still, no matter what, as much as I thought I was fooling a lot of people, I wasn't fooling myself, and other people could feel it no matter at whatever level. So you know what, when you're in your work environment, don't think that you're not snapping at people and you're not being grumpy and you don't have an expression on your face that isn't, absolutely happy and engaging and attractive. And when I don't mean that in the, gosh, you're hot and sexy way, I'm talking about just people wanting to be around you and work with you. When you're happy, you become a better team player. When you're happy, you become more pleasant to be around in the workplace. And when you're pleasant, you're a better mother, you're a better father, you're a better daughter, son, all of those things. When you're happy, it affects every area of your life, from family to workers to friends. And when you get outside of your own jar and you can read your label, it's like putting on the glasses. You go, wow, I don't want to be like that anymore. And if you stayed on this webinar this long, and most everybody has, you're resonating with this language, because I was just like you. I was the one that was out there saying, I want something, different from my life. I want to feel different every day when I wake up. And I was lucky enough that I knew who to call. I knew, because I worked with experts in all sorts of areas, and I'm going to be bringing those too to the Cafe D. So when you come on, you're going to get, I did some webinars we're going to be putting up that will blow your mind. I'm so excited about them. So that's going to be available to all of you. My goal is to fill you guys up with information and resources and inspiration that will help you grow and become putting on the glasses. If that's a great analogy, if everybody kind of gets that analogy, I hope, if nothing more, you get to wear glasses and see life in a different way, with a different lightness and a different feeling of happiness, because it will impact every area of your life. Even if you're driving. Imagine, when you're miserable and you're driving out there and you honk at everybody and you curse at everybody and everybody's an idiot and everybody's driving wrong, but when you're happy everything changes. The roads change for you. The traffic changes for you. Your friends change. Your work environment changes, and it's all very positive. And like I said, I call all of those years that I sat in bed, like I don't know if you guys remember the first picture was a woman that just laid in bed. That was me. That was me. I would lay in bed till the time I opened my eyes in the morning. It would take me sometimes an hour, 2 hours to get out of bed, just because I would sit there and not know what to do, not know where to go, not know how to think and feel, and not know how to interact. And I didn't feel like being around people that were, you know, cheerful, or people that asked me how my life was, because I didn't want to explain it. So I kept myself in this cocoon of protection, which was, you know, in my bed. I didn't want to do. I only went out when I had to. And then I just started to say, what kind of life is this? I don't want this life anymore. So I changed it. And so that's why this webinar is my first webinar, because this made the biggest difference in my life.
You know what, and let me read a couple of these other things, because, and we had a nice little comment. Thank you both for your time. Very inspirational and very helpful. Thank you very much. But here's one lady. She goes, I suffer from PTSD from a physically abusive relationship, clinical depression, and an adult ADD. I feel like my steamer trunks could fill the Titanic. I don't want the night terrors, and I've been struggling for 24 years, right? And she recognizes that she wants to work on her, right? She says, I just need to work on me because her spouse refuses to communicate. And I just want to say from my heart, reading that, I'm going to pray for you, and you can change it. It's not too late. It's never too late. You can do it. And I know you would say the same thing, probably, Vicki.
Right, right. Well, it sounds like there is a lot of yeah, the steamer trunks can, you know, you can have a matched set of luggage to steamer trunks that fill the Titanic, but you can eat an elephant one step at a time. You know, take the steps, and every day build your vision boards, create that life wheel that you have there on the worksheets. If you see that, you'll see that it has, I think on that one it has 7, and I added one on the slides. I think I added environment, which I think is your home, or maybe it was recreation. I can't remember which one I added, but pick those areas of your life and start visibly designing what it is that you want. Stay away from what you don't want, right? We're hopefully you guys wrote that down on your worksheet. Let it go today. Let that stuff go and just focus on positive thoughts and ideas and emotions, because what you think about, so your life goes. So it's going to, maybe in some of your lives, you're going to need some absolute triggers on how to change and shift your mindset, and we'll work on some of those things. There is, this is a 7-step path to finding happiness again, and there may be a chance that your journey may take a little bit longer, but what I will promise you is that you can eat an elephant one bite at a time. You can create triggers, just like Greg had those happy stickers everywhere. And that really worked, didn't it, Greg?
Yes, it did. You know, absolutely.
It did work. And I'm not sure that you believed it at first, but you did it.
Oh, I thought it was so goofy. I mean, here I'm a guy, and I'm a business guy, investment banker, and I'm like, this is the goofiest thing I've ever heard.
Right, right, exactly.
That's what I thought.
Right, and so the fact that you did it and that you stepped into it and you owned it, and then it worked, and you're going, wow, this stuff really works, because it does. How you shift your energy and how you shift your thought processes makes all the difference in the world. So that is what we're going to be on this webinar series. We're going to be focusing on thinking the right things. We're going to be talking about how to get rid of all of those things from your past that will weigh you down, that come in the form of steamer trunks, and how you can slowly, like eating an elephant one bite at a time, how you can tear away at those pasts and bring in and replace it with happiness. Because I think that that's what I had to do. I had to slowly and surely replace all of that negativity with the positive and happy things. Remember to direct your own life. Be the director of your own life. Focus your camera on the things that make you happy. Don't spend time with your camera lens on the negative, because that's what's going to grow in your life.
Yeah. No, and I think, too, the whole support group and then what you're putting together with the website and the forum where people can get into discussions and the private Facebook group, just to surround yourself. You know, I coach as a business coach like you do and that kind of stuff, and it's always about the people you surround yourself with. And I know people that are hurting on this call and listening right now, and they're still listening. They need to surround themselves with a support group, and that's what you're providing. So again, if you have any last questions, we're getting close to the 90 minutes, and we typically like to wrap these things up around 90 minutes. If you have any last questions, this is your time to get them. We'll take a couple more questions if you have any.
And then we'll tell everybody about the special gift that we have, right?
Oh, yeah, everyone's getting a free gift for staying this long. I forget about that.
So do we have any other questions?
I don't see any coming in. Let me look real quick. Oh, going back to that, I wanted to make a comment. So I remember listening to a guy named Les Brown, and Les Brown is a personal development speaker, and he's spoken to over 30 million people. And I remember a line that he said, if you're going through hell, if you're like going through hell, he says, keep on running. He says, keep on going. Get out and run as fast as you can to get out the other side. And it made me think of that line when we were talking about that smile thing. And he also said, fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it. We'll build that habit. But that idea that what you're providing is giving people the ability to accelerate going through hell, so to speak. Right? It's like, let me get out of here. Let me get this thing done.
Right,
and jump on the board, get the support. So it's just an awesome program again. And if you're not happy at the end of the 7 weeks, you can get your money back. We want to get you signed up. So I don't see any more questions coming in.
All of these experts are chomping at the bit to get involved, so they can't wait to get this on, because this is their passion. Each of these topics are their passion. So you will feel it, and you will learn from some really great, empowering people that will help you go down the journey, just like the journey that I took. So should I go ahead and go to the next slide and talk about what we've got for them?
Yep, let's do that.
Go.
Are you still there? I don't hear you anymore.
My goodness gracious! Did I tell you I was technically challenged, or what? Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Greg? Okay.
Yeah.
So my gift to everyone that stayed on the webinar today was to thank you. It was to help you find your happy again. We are offering you a 1-year free standard membership into the CafeD.com. That's an $84 value. That's how much it would cost. The value of it is way more than that, because you're going to have access to a private Facebook community where it'll be perused by industry experts from not only legal and accounting and real estate and all of those things, but it will also be perused by these experts that you'll be meeting on the site, and others that will be there, and they'll be monitoring the boards and answering questions as they come in. So they will be there. It will be a very special community where sometimes you'll go in when you need a shoulder to lean on, and sometimes you'll be the shoulder that somebody else needs. So it's going to be one of those communities that's going to be a give and take. And by helping others, you'll help yourself. So that's the community that we have for you, and we have it for everybody that was on this webinar today. So I thank you all so much for being a part of this today. I hope that this helped you. I hope that you got a lot of great information. I'd love to hear from you. So if you will write me at Vicki, and I'm Vicki with a Y, at thecafed.com. Just make sure that you put the in there, thecafed.com. I would love to hear your feedback. I want to hear what you liked, what you didn't like, because this is our first one, and you guys are a part of that. So you guys are a part of our charter charter webinar people. So we're grateful, so grateful for you. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm grateful. Greg, thank you for being such an awesome host and an awesome coach to help me get through this, and I appreciate and I'm grateful for you today.
Yeah. No, I want to say thank you. And basically, we'll be emailing everybody with a special link for you to get your free gift and to get into the free membership site. And again, you're just such a blessing. And I've got some other stuff I'm going to talk to you privately about that people are sending me that I didn't feel was appropriate to bring up on this call, Vicki. So we'll talk about that. And the people you guys know who I'm referring to, we will email you privately, okay? So I want to say thank you, and I always tell people, do what I do, wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude. Like create a habit that when you wake up very first thing in the morning, start saying things you're grateful for, and then tell somebody you love them, and you'll have a much better day. This is Greg Ryder saying thank you very much. We appreciate everybody's time. Click that link, sign up, and look for your emails for your free membership into the Cafe D to kind of go on this journey with Vicki.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.